Well, hey dudes, welcome back to another weird and wacky episode of World Building. I am he, the host, Modern Monstrosities. So, in this video, I wanted to build this little exo-suit dude. There is a story behind him, but I kind of got the idea from this little dude that I made. This dude, sort of this dude. I made this dude, and then I was inspired by this dude to make another dude because I didn't like this dude because he looked kind of weird. He's a weird dude. So then I made this dude. This dude's big and bulky and cool. And he's got like an axe and stuff. If you ask Giraffe Puppet, he will probably tell you that he has a skirt, which he sort of does, but don't tell him I said that. Oops. Anyway, here is the Ultimate Keep Bashing Kick Carrier 3000. And I'm pulling out some parts from it. This is for keep bashing minis and things. Got lots of little parts and things in here. But anyway, I got out some little action figure dude. I'm going to turn him into the robot. It may be a little hard to believe this is the same guy you saw in the thumbnail. I actually did modify him with some other action figure parts. You can take these guys apart. So yeah, here he is. And how you doing, little dude? Wait, what? Ah! Get back here. What are you doing, yoga? What a weirdo. Anyway, so this is the main body part I'm going to use here. One of the nice things about them being so maneuverable and things, where you can move up with joints and things, articulated, you can position them pretty well and then glue them in place. Anyway, I got some more of those action figure parts, and I got the other dude there for reference. Boy, I say dude a lot, and boy, I say a lot too. So, putting together some different parts. The action figure, the main one that I was using for the arms and legs and things, he was a little bit different size joints for the other dude, so I had to glue that. I think I just glued it right away. Anyway, I got out one of these soft plastic covers. They work really well as a sheet of plastic after you cut out the outside rim. So then you turn that into what Giraffe Puppet calls a skirt. I showed a lot of how I did a lot of that stuff in my one where I made awesome minis. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, pretty much you cut them into little skinny rectangles and then turn it into a metal, skirt. I tried, the plan for this one was not to put one on him, but I tried leaving it, and he looks super skinny. So I guess I knew what I was doing before. Anyway, as you can see, I did add some little shoulder pads on him and a hand out of toothpicks. The shoulder pads are Warhammer 40,000 shoulder pads. They fit pretty well in these action figures. And then his hand is made out of toothpicks. I glued them together with some super glue and then dipped the super glue in baking powder, which helps speed up the drying process and also made a really cool texture. I made the guy looking at his hand, and his hand is open. I don't know why he's looking at his hand. If anybody has any ideas on maybe what he could hold, you can comment about that. That would be appreciated. Anyway, here's some of my Warhammer 40,000 bits. I do not have 40,000 bits. It's just called Warhammer 40,000. Anyway, yeah, I'm picking out some bits. I think I picked out a chainsaw sword, as I call them. They look like chainsaw swords. But it was on his left hand, but I put it on his right hand, and I didn't want it to look like he had a left hand on his right arm, if that makes any sense. Anyway, so I snipped off the hand and replaced it with a right hand, which actually worked pretty well, if anybody's following what I was saying there. So here I was using a washer to make a base. I covered up the hole with some of that plastic sheet thing and added some rocks, little tiny ones. I used some of that, used some of that glue there. So here I got out some Mod Podge. Earlier I was cutting out a cape, or a cloak, or whatever, out of a tissue that's all dried out. And here I got out some Mod Podge. I'm going to slather some Mod Podge onto it. And after that, it should be hard after it dries. Try to make it, the bottom of the cape, or cloak, look like it was ripped, which actually worked out pretty well. There, I was trying to see if it looked pretty well, or pretty good on it. And I did. I tried to make it look like it was blowing, but I ended up not looking. It was like, like flapping in the wind. But yeah, didn't really work. Oh well. So anyway, yeah, here I was putting some mud texture on it. I could have just made my own mix. This is a commercial mix. I didn't feel like making it though, and my own though. And this stuff looked pretty well, probably a lot better than I could do. So yeah. Anyway, this guy's name, which I have not figured out yet. I don't have a name for him. But they call him the Lost King. There was this city, and cities in rejection, they have king. And, well, there was this prince that everybody thought was going to be a bad king. They're like, oh, this guy's not the smartest, he's going to be a bad king. By the way, rejection is a planet I made up that's in our universe. But I made it up, so it's not actually in our universe. And it's called Rejection. And it's got these junkyards. And this city is in the middle of one of the junkyards. The junkyards aren't actually that big, but the junk comes from Earth because breaches, which are portals, suck in metal from Earth and put them in Rejection. But nobody really knows that, except for the people on Rejection and me. But anyway, the city in the middle, and everybody thought this guy was going to be a bad king, and he's like, oh, this guy's going to be a bad king. And he actually turned out to be a pretty good king. But since they didn't expect him to be a good king, they were actually slightly angry that he was a good king. So they kicked him out of the city. And of course, he didn't like that. So he decided to retaliate on the city by building robots in the junkyard, using junk and things to build. And so he did. But I think I'm going to get more on that in a later video. And I believe that would be a build.
Don't tell me that's another skirt.
Yeah, sort of. See, well, it's sort of a skirt. I mean, I think it looks better than the last one. What do you think?
I think it looks awful, just like the last one.
Well, come on, you don't have to be that rude.
It's totally a skirt, man. I mean, look at that thing. It's so ugly.
Well, I did have these little grass tufts and things on the bottom. Yeah, I didn't explain a whole lot about painting, but yeah, see, he's got a skirt there, and he's got a skirt. They're not skirts.
Yes, they are.
They're just thingies. Pretty much, I painted him a military green and then gave him a wash.
It's totally a skirt, man. You better not build any more.
Hey, let me talk! So anyway, I highlighted a lot of the stuff with a wash and dry brush. Well, anyway, I believe that would be a build completed.